It's Thursday, and you know what that means. Ringside Heat on the air here on YouTube as well as on your favorite podcatcher. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Lex Tan, host and producer of the show. I'm alongside Jose Tabuada. You can follow him at Tabuada93 on all of his social media. We can also, if you can also connect with us as well on social media at Ringside_Heat on all of our channels here below. And because I'm doing the not mirror image over here, so now I'm trying to mirror myself there with my hands. But yeah, there it is. Well, welcome to the stream. Welcome to our Survivor Series preview. We will be doing our Survivor Series watch along this coming Saturday night, starting at 5:45 p.m. because start time is at 6 p.m. here in Toronto.
Yeah, it's I keep hearing we keep hearing so many different start times. 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 p.m. Eastern, and now 6. I'm like, okay, we're just counting down to the morning. I don't know.
Either way, tune in at 5:45 here on our YouTube channel, and we're also going to be simulcasting, if you want to use that old term, on some of our social media on our at Ringside Heat at Ringside_Heat on X. So yeah, follow us there as well.
Unfortunately, and it breaks my heart to say, I won't be able to attend the live stream this Saturday. It's a tough
Jose.
one. I'm
Jeez,
so
Jose,
sorry.
why can't you make it on Saturday?
Because I've been doing a lot of the EWs, and I guess I'll take a break from the live stream. Like that's all I can say is, unfortunately, I am unable to because I'm gonna freaking be there this Saturday.
Woo!
Oh my God, it's almost here.
In tribute to The Rock and Moana 2, Chee-hoo! And the Bloodline as well. So.
I will be seeing that though. I think on the by the time this airs on YouTube, because this is up Thursday. I think Thursday evening Vancouver time. I think like my friends and I are gonna go watch Moana 2.
That's awesome.
We said either Thursday or Friday. Like, what do you want to do when we get here? I'm like, I don't know. Hey, Moana's out, sick. So that's one of the first things we do before Saturday. So it's gonna be nice. It's
gonna be wrestling related too.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's gonna be great to be back. I've said this before. I go to Vancouver at this rate now once a year, sometimes twice a year.
Nice.
It's just such a great. I love it. I enjoy it. It is such a great place. So I cannot wait to go back. And again, I picked this weekend for what we're about to talk about. As soon as it was announced, I'm like, well, there's my time to go back to Vancouver. I was gonna go back regardless. This is just a great excuse.
Oh, for sure.
Beautiful excuse to be at WarGames this Saturday.
Oh yeah, and look at the card as well too. Jeez, with AEW, I know you've been saying that you've been doing a lot of the AEW live streams and everything. You're used to 12, 15 matches in a 3-4 hour time span over here.
Well,
or a 6-hour time span. Or I don't know.
Well, I mean, first of all, I'm used to hosting these previews, but you're back, so I'm like, oh, okay, I have to now play the color analyst. I'm kidding, it's fine. Look, honestly, I mean, yes. Yeah, when you do the AEW, and I've been doing the AEW with Colin for a while now. I know you were part of what was it, All Out a little while back? All Out,
one of those. One of the alls, yeah.
One of the one of the alls. It's because there's a lot going on with AEW, and it's fine because I think at least what I've noticed with these last two AEW shows is that they didn't feel like they dragged on at the end of the day. Obviously, we're in front of our screens for a while, right? But 5 matches this time around is obviously better. Again, it's going to be different for me because I will be there this Saturday. But honestly, when it comes to focusing on the matches itself, Lex, I think you know, and everybody knows that this was what WWE does best. I've noticed is just have atrocious, weird builds and rushed builds to these things. But here we are. We have our 5 because it was 3 matches up until this past Monday night on Raw.
Yeah,
and it got so lazy to the point where the next 2 matches were just announced on a graph. Well, I know Pierce announced the match, but then the US title just here's a graphic on Raw when it's a SmackDown match. So I don't know. It's all over the place, I guess, but they normally tend to be really good. So I don't know what their magic is with these rushed pay-per-views, but here we are.
Well, at the same time, I mean, Triple H has very, very much a lot of experience in rushed pay-per-views from the Ruthless Aggression era, where it was a pay-per-view every 2 weeks, basically.
No, that was the 2016 era. The 2016 era.
That too. That too.
But even then, But even in the Ruthless Aggression era, Triple H had the benefit of just doing the once every other month because of the Raw and SmackDown exclusive pay-per-views.
Oh, that's right, because Triple H didn't want to work Tuesdays.
I was going to do that joke myself. I was trying to fit it in, and I'm like, no, let me just call the thing, and you beat me to it. Yeah, it's he didn't want to work Tuesdays, but it was January the Rumble, Raw, February went to SmackDown. March nothing, March, April WrestleMania, April went to Raw, and so on and so forth. I remember this so vividly. So yeah, I presume that like Triple H remembers that like with those brand exclusive pay-per-views that they were small cards anyway. So but it works. It works. I'm excited for these matches. The builds, some of them a disaster, other was just a quick little segment and boom, there's your match.
Right.
So let's break it down. Let's go for it.
So the first one that's like a quick little segment and boom, there's a match. Let's start off with LA Knight versus Shinsuke Nakamura. And you know what? First of all, I'm gonna say I love the fact that Shinsuke is able to cut promos the way he does right now with the pre-recorded stuff and with the subtitles at the bottom. It's like it works so well for Shin, and it's and the build is with LA Knight, the way he could just build things out of nowhere. It doesn't even have to like be even remotely related to Shinsuke Nakamura. But then just a couple of weeks ago, he just took down every single member of what Legado El Fantasma, whatever like that. And it's just and it was just. He only needs 60 seconds and just like everybody just gets buried in this.
And everybody gets destroyed. Yeah. I mean, first of all, great to see Nakamura back. I know. Yes. And so it wasn't until he reappeared when you realize he's been gone for a while. Two, like you said, the pre-recorded promos in his own native language works perfectly. We're in an era now where it's okay to have subtitles to help us so they can really show their talent with the promo skills, because it works. I know obviously there's the language barrier, but again, this is perfect for guys like Nakamura. It makes sense. That said, I would give the win to Nakamura. There is my first, like, quote unquote prediction. Again, and this is what I think this is going to be a common theme for the most part of these pay-per-views, of this pay-per-view, I should say, or not, maybe not the most part, but when you have somebody like Nakamura basically come back with a strong gimmick, it's a good gimmick. It's a gimmick that works. It's one of those situations where yes, the title will help enhance the gimmick and the character to help elevate them further. This is one of those times. In reality, did LA Knight ever really need the belt, quote unquote? No,
I don't think so.
I don't think so, but it works because he's just such a good champion. I'd want to see Nakamura get his time in the spotlight. I'm okay with LA Knight losing, and we need to start getting accustomed again to these quote unquote short reigns, even though this has been a reign since SummerSlam.
Yeah, something. SummerSlam, right? Yeah, he won it at SummerSlam. So it's been 3 months, and that's the thing. If you wanted to, and a lot of people compare LA Knight to The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin and stuff like that, and right? And then particularly with The Rock, his longest title reign was like wasn't even a year, like maybe 3-4 months at the most, and then like and he would drop the title. And yes, it was the Attitude Era, but at the same time it also made us as fans, it made us want to see The Rock climb that mountain again and get to another championship. And and I think that's something that I think Triple H sees in LA Knight, and I think that's something that he might be able to recreate with that.
Yeah, and again, we need to get used to short reigns again. We need to get used to it. I still feel like we will always feel the repercussions of Roman's 4-year reign as champ, because it feels like every title now moving forward is always looked under a microscope. Cody's championship reign is severely looked under a microscope or severely criticized because it's not quote unquote Roman. Unfair to Roman. I mean, Sami Zayn has that epic win. Loses it not that much later. Logan Paul had it for a couple of years, and then or maybe a year and a half, and then the question goes, okay, but can LA Knight do the same? Should he do the same? It's unfortunate that I'm sure a lot of us thought that would be the repercussions of Roman's dominance. That we're now starting to criticize if a champion was worth it. Was it long enough? It's going to be tough to find a balance and try to, I guess, quote unquote, restore that balance if there is something to restore. So I'm okay with LA Knight losing if it does happen. Obviously, I think it'd be great for him to continue the reign. Don't get me wrong, but
Mhm.
Nakamura's in a good spot. He's back.
Yeah,
We need to be reminded. Yeah.
And I don't think that Shinsuke Nakamura should have whatever momentum he's already built up in this very short amount of time struck down because people want to see LA Knight with the championship. I think it's time for Shinsuke to take that, and of course there will be a natural build up to another match between Shin and Knight as well. So that's something that could continue for the next couple of months, heading into the Royal Rumble. And that it could also open up LA Knight to other stories. It could open him up to other championships, and possibly if they do a trade, then it could be he could actually compete for the Intercontinental Championship, which will be contested. Braun Breaker, the champion, putting up the title in a triple threat match between Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser, and I actually and the short bursts of stuff that I've seen between all three of them right now, I've actually kind of I haven't, tell you the truth, that's haven't been paying too much attention to Braun Breaker, but I was actually very surprised, to tell you the truth, to see him get the face pop that he did last Monday Night on Raw, and having the Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser already having their little thing, their little I guess they're dust ups as well. So, and Adam Pearce just killing it as the general manager, just exasperated to all hell with those two, with all those three guys, and making it a triple threat threat rather. But I also like the fact that it's a triple threat because these three know how to go. So I am so looking forward to the creativity that they've got so far.
Yeah, thankfully, I don't see any of these three matches as a quote unquote washroom break. If you were to label as something, I mean, this triple threat is going to be a lot of fun. I mean, we've seen incredible triple threat IC matches in the past, right?
Yeah.
So, and these are the three guys that can definitely put on a show. And Braun Breaker gets cheered, even though he's a heel, because he's damn good. And again, it's always tough every now and then to talk kayfabe and to try to get really, really invested into it, as of talking about an injury in kayfabe or something. But
which we'll get into in the women's WarGame match, but we can talk about that after.
Kayfabe. But it's I just laugh at myself at this rate. But but like, if somebody's good, somebody's good, right? And that's what I like to see. In this case, even though what I just said about Nakamura and the US title, I would rather see Braun Breaker continue as champ because he's just dominant, right? Not that Ludwig and Sheamus are not good, although I would pin the loss on Ludwig to continue the little slowly, from what we're seeing, the little tiny friction with Gunther. I think that's what I've been seeing. So for me, it's like,
yes, I like that. Yeah,
let's keep slowly tackling that on a little bit. So, and I can see it working. Sheamus, Sheamus has been IC champ, has he not?
Yeah, has been. Yeah, has he? Let's look that up, baby.
I got it right here. Hold on. It's what? No, right. That was a title he was still missing to become a Grand Slam champ. He's never done it.
WWE champion, World Heavyweight champion, US champion 3 times, Raw tag champ, SmackDown tag champ, King of the Ring, Money in the Bank, Royal Rumble, Slammy. Slammy.
All the Slammies. Yeah, he's won 4 Slammies instead of the Intercontinental Championship. So I would keep it on Braun. Even though, yes, the Grand Slam would be kind of big. If I had to pick between, I think Ludwig is for sure a no. If I'm wrong, this is gonna be hilarious to look back at. But my picks would be Braun or Sheamus, but leaning more towards Braun if I had to pick. But this is just gonna be, as the kids say, a banger of a match anyway. This is just supposed to be a fun, physical, technical match, which I think the three of them can easily bring out the best in each other. So
definitely. And for Sheamus, for him to get his Grand Slam championship, I'd like to say, Survivor Series would be a great pay-per-view to do that, right? But selfishly, I'd like to see it at Elimination Chamber over because it's going to be at the Sky Rogers Center.
Is it now? Look at that. It is. I know we're talking about Survivor Series, but I was talking with my supervisor today earlier, and he says, "Well, Jose, are you going to get tickets to that?" To the Elimination Chamber? And I said, well, listen, ever since I was 7 years old, I've always wondered what it'd be like to attend the show there. And I've said this in our Elimination Chamber episode a couple weeks back that Lex unfortunately wasn't a part of. And I keep I keep repeating that story, and I don't care because it's been a lifelong dream to attend a WWE show in that stadium, because that stadium to me is home, because I'm such a James fan. I love going to the Rogers Center.
Yeah.
It's it's my cathedral.
Yeah.
So again, we're gonna keep talking about Survivor Series, and again, I am happy for Vancouver because this is so big for Vancouver. But to see a show in a stadium that solidified me as a fan, I can't wait. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna talk more about Elimination Chamber as the weeks and the months go by. Even though tickets go on sale next weekend, it's just, oh my god, I can't even. I'm not even fresh off the plane, and I'm already going back into Ticketmaster. It's a joke. It's hilarious.
Well, I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start bugging WWE anytime soon for some media passes and the press junket. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, we were mentioning about injuries and and in the blurring of kayfabe over here, and we've got the women's war game match as well. I guess if we're running down the card from 5 to 1 on the on Wikipedia, we've got the women's war game match starring Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Naomi, Io Sky, and Bayley, who has just been added to the team, versus the Judgment Day of Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, and Candice LeRae. This is something that I don't know if I can't call this one, honestly, because either of them, it would make sense for either of them to win. And I can see, things like, if let's say first of all, I'll start off with, if the Judgment Day loses, there's already a natural dust up between Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton that could happen as part of that match.
Yeah,
or at least they could set off some seeds to that for Tiffany to possibly cash in sometime. Maybe she cashes in at Survivor Series.
Yeah, I was joking around to the guys saying that if Tiffany cashes in, if it happens, then I demand to start being called Mr. Money in the Bank for Ringside Heat, because that would be an unprecedented third time in a calendar year that I see a cash in. I went 2005 was the debut, right? I went 19 years without seeing a Money in the Bank cash in person. And then all of a sudden, 2024 hits, and now I have 2 under my belt in a span of a few months. WrestleMania 40, when Damian cashed in to open up night 2, and then Drew McIntyre cashing in on the same night that he won the Money in the Bank in Toronto at the Scotiabank Arena. If Tiffany does it, I will be laughing literally to the bank, and I think I will hang up my Money in the Bank briefcase again. It would be so funny. I used to have it up on my ceiling. I attached a hook to the ceiling or the air vents here, and I had it hanging out. It was fantastic. I don't know if it happens. Again, I would laugh if I'm a part of that. Selfishly, that's what I want to see. I want to see the cash in happen just to be arrogant for the rest of my life, saying that I say, because it'll feel like I've won the lottery 3 times in a year, which is hilarious. That said, I think this is a face win. I do think this is Rhea, Bianca, and et cetera, et cetera. I see this as a win, because honestly, the right now, the little, again, seeds are planted, just like in the IC title. Just like with Ludwig. Tiffany and Candice are kind of like fighting for like Nia's attention in the last couple of weeks on SmackDown.
Right.
If they start bickering and then they start affecting the team and the match itself, I think that could be your first downfall. If Tiffany decides to get selfish and then cash in during the WarGames match, which again we got teased with the last year with Damian Priest, it's technically never happened as well. So that opens up your avenue for the first ever cash in method. And I don't see Liv and Raquel kind of like taking care of the Rhea. I think Rhea at the end of the day is just always going to be booked as that overcoming face.
Yeah.
So
I
would pick. I guess I would pick those. I would pick them. Should say.
And with Liv and Raquel, there's also been that I guess that also tension in the Judgment Day about like not I guess, how do you say, losing matches and stuff like that, and so that might be something. But again, basically at this point, Liv is the one that's running the Judgment Day, as opposed to even though Finn is claiming head status at the moment, which I actually kind of like the fact that he's like trying to put himself over as the
Yeah.
I guess the de facto leader of the group. But then but then again, it seems like Liv is more has more of her hooks into things.
Which again, that could be argued as that's why they should win. So Liv can like continue to look as a strong, dominant force of the Judgment Day, right? I feel like maybe this one may be a little bit more obvious than the men, and oh boy, do we have a lot to unpack with the men.
Oh
But
man, yeah.
I would still give it to Rhea, and obviously, I think the other thing we didn't speak about with this is what happened with Jade. Why did she end up like a Family Guy character, just dead on the floor or in the car? It's hilarious music came out of it. The position was fantastic. It was so good, believable, I should say. People are starting to wonder if it was Bailey who did it, so she can insert herself into the WarGames match. And if that's the case, then you can start that rivalry with somebody. I don't know if it's with Bianca or something, or maybe people are saying maybe Bianca was the one that kicked her out. I don't know. So I think we get a small answer there. And again, that could also be another reason why the face women lose, because of a potential heel turn from a Bailey or from a Bianca. I don't think it'd be Bianca, but I'm still picking the face women, but that's not a confident selection for this match.
Speaking of confidence, we've got the World Heavyweight Championship match here, where Gunther seems to have been losing a lot of confidence against Damian Priest, and just the way that Damian Priest has been able to dominate and actually get into the head of Gunther. I loved actually the story between them right now, that it's the ring general versus the streets, and that's simple concept, but a compelling storyline for me.
I can't believe it's not a street fight. I thought we were going to get a street fight. I know the two WarGames matches are already bringing a lot of weapons into the thing, but I don't get why this is a street fight. Give Damian the advantage of like, hey, you know what? I own you and I own the streets. I thought it was going to be a street fight. I was waiting for a street fight announcement, and it's just a regular match. I don't know why. Because if Gunther is sounding like he's losing confidence, then kind of keep honing in on that with an advantage to Damian, assuming it would be a street fight again, because he talked about surviving on the streets. His words, not mine.
Right, exactly.
I would still give it to Gunther. He continues. I don't see them putting it back on Damian Priest. I can still see Gunther continuing to lead the way, and if there is a friction or frustration with Ludwig, if he loses the IC title match, maybe start planting those seeds for Gunther and Ludwig at some point.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that could go either way, because like if I see Damian Priest winning this matchup, then at least WWE creative avoids the Brock Lesnar monster booking sort of situation with Gunther, because Gunther is supposed to be at least in my mind, he's not like Brock Lesnar monster or anything like that.
No.
But at the same time, he is also a very powerful competitor in the ring, and because that's his character, his presentation exudes that kind of bigness, I guess, and it's and dominance in the division.
Which is why I'm okay with it, because he's dominant. A lot of people can't stand Brock Lesnar. Look at our own very own Colin Dodge. You find him on social media ever since 72. But that's what also, again, I'm gonna trigger a lot of people. That's also what made Brock Lesnar fun when he was champ. I'm sorry. Yes, it was annoying in a long. Yes, it was annoying. Yes, it went too long, too many reigns, but also he was booked as a monster, folks. That's what that's fun.
And see, that's the thing with Brock Lesnar being booked that way. That also set the precedent for Roman to be booked that way as well.
Yes. Yeah. And I think Brock Lesnar was more convincing than Roman, although they eventually put Roman in that same category. But in terms of like physicality and dominance and assertiveness, Brock, I think on paper, I guess. No, but I'm not diminishing Roman, but Brock was just convincing. Gunther is also convincing because of how like freakishly strong, dominant. Do you want to take a chop from him?
Hell no.
I rest my case. So it's So
No
I
offense to no offense to taking chops from Clash Kincaid or from
not
Ty
at
Collins,
all,
you know.
not at all, not at all. But I think Gunther just will be that convincing dominant guy. So I think this is an easy win. Not an easy win, but an easy pick. And I'm
Great.
going Gunther. I'm going Gunther.
Okay, cool. So yeah, that one's up in the air for me. I don't know. I'm personally looking forward to
Oh yeah. Oh my god, it's gonna
just
be a lot of
finding out
fun.
what's going
It's
on,
gonna be
right?
fantastic. Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, it's just so open to me that I can't even make a prediction at this point for
Yeah.
this.
Fair.
Maybe we'll see it on Friday. Maybe if something happens between them on Friday, then maybe I'll
I don't think so.
think
I
so.
think what happened Monday is what happened Monday, and then we leave what happened, because I know SmackDown's gonna be focused on the next match that we're gonna
Yeah,
talk about. Correct?
exactly. Exactly. That's right. The men's War Games match. It is the original Bloodline, featuring Roman Reigns, the Usos, Jimmy and Jay, Sami Zayn, and the new addition to the Bloodline team here, CM Punk, in his first year anniversary since coming back to the WWE. And unlike last year, I will be popping to see CM Punk at the Survivor
Okay, I'm
Series.
so happy you brought that up. I'm so happy, and here's why. Because I got bored last night, so I started listening to some old Ringside Econ. Sometimes I like to hear back. I'll be honest, folks. I do this, not to sound arrogant, but sometimes I go back to the episodes that I've hosted because I want to see if I stuttered. I want to see if I repeated myself. I like to look back because I know there's going to be opportunities to keep hosting, because I think Lex and I are basically more 90-10 Lex, as rightfully it is his show. But the 10% that I do host, I want to try to see if I can get it right and match that level. So I was listening back, and again, Survivor Series coming up. So I went into the Survivor Series episode last year from John's place.
Yeah.
God, were you bitter?
I admit it. I admit it.
You
I
were
admit it.
so
I admit it.
upset. And I called you out on in the episode, and I said, "Well, folks, here we are all excited." But then Lex said that if this happened, he would sit still, and boy, did he sit still, and you did.
I
And it
did.
was
I really did.
so funny listening back to it now, and how right I think I was. No, for what it's worth, John was skeptical as well. We all were saying that it's going to be a short leash on Punk, and it feels like there was never a short leash because of where he is today and how much of a perfect, I'm going to say perfect fit it's been since last year. It just worked out. There's no signs of potential backstage conflict or any of the sort. It looks like it's just genuinely working out. I mean, we already saw how they turned like the quote unquote potential real heat with Drew McIntyre into an incredible story.
Oh, beautiful story. Yeah.
It's going to be top 3 of the year for me. I think it could be feud of the year if I even including both companies. But it's just it was just so funny to listen back to. I highly recommend you listen back to Alex, because again, you were so bitter, and he sat there, and again, it's his opinion, his view, but he's like, no, I was not happy because Punk, I think, is just so bad backstage, and we know all the news about it backstage, and I don't know if it's like, again, I think the concerns
That's arrogant.
were valid. And John's son JP, we gave him a microphone. I don't know why. I'm kidding. I love him so. We gave him a microphone, and he was saying the same thing. He's like, he's a jerk. He's rude, and you're in the back. Yes, JP. We're like, oh my god, like, shut up.
Yeah. I admit, I know it's and that's the thing, is because and the thing is, now that the story has like the actual real life story has kind of fleshed itself out over the year, and we've seen how CM Punk has very, very much so reintegrated himself into the WWE family, and he even said that, like, coming in his first statements after his return at Survivor Series, that he's home, and which I was very skeptical about as myself, because
skeptical. Sorry, continue. Sorry. Sorry, continue. I don't like interrupting. Sorry, continue.
But it's because of the way that and now, at least in my opinion, and the way I've I guess process the information, it's because of the things that he had to do in AEW and the things he wanted to do in AEW but couldn't, like, for instance, like the whole coaching of the younger talent and not being listened to. I dare to say that anybody that's in NXT right now, when they're around CM Punk, they value every single morsel and nugget of everything he has to
Everything.
say.
It's
Uh,
incredible. Yeah, absolutely.
and that speaks to the culture that they've got cultivated in WWE under under the watch of Triple H, which I guess in a sense, knowing that much about it, it is something I should not have I should have trusted Triple H with when it comes to the culture of WWE, that Punk would be welcomed back even with real life heat amongst other people in the on the roster. So yeah, I mean, so yes, I will be popping for CM Punk when I hear that white noise and that guitar riff.
I'm just happy that I can actually see him compete because again, one of the things I was also saying in that episode last year, and I think the we all felt it was that our WrestleMania ticket value has just increasingly gone up. Like we got our tickets on sale, and
Yes.
it felt like we did, but
Oh
then
my God.
but then the injury happened. Right, we still saw him. I mean,
Mhm.
he still had a little entrance, not on the pre-show, but I mean, it was still cool, right? That I'm seeing CM Punk at a WrestleMania, but now
Mhm.
I get to see him compete. And this is where I think now it's a great transition to talk about this match.
Mhm.
I was skeptical. Haha, I can use it. I was skeptical with him with at first adding him into the match. Ironic after we just spoke about concerns. Wow, can't talk
Instead of
today.
SCEPTISM, think SKEPTISM.
Meow meow meow. Like I didn't get it because maybe at the end of the day, this match should have been 4-on-4.
Sorry,
It should have been. What's that?
sorry to interrupt you. I misspelt skepticism both times. Anyway,
Wow. Um,
sorry. Go ahead.
I
I just
would
had.
not have noticed because I can't even say it. This match should have been 4-on-4. I think no matter what, at the end of the day, four
Mhm.
on four made a lot of sense, and because
Mhm.
that's where the story is. That's
Yeah.
exactly where the story is.
Mhm.
I mean, Bronson Reed, sure. Sure. Ironically enough, he looks like he fits in the group so well too that
He is Polynesian, so.
if he were to, well, aside from that, it just looks comfortable. That looks like a good place for him because he's this
Mhm.
dominant monster, right? Even though Jacob is the monster of the new bloodline, but
Mhm.
it looks like he fit well. And it makes sense because you want to add all the quote unquote manpower and everything. I'm expecting a tsunami off the top of the cage, and I'm gonna laugh. Um, so then you go to Rollins, and again, I wasn't crazy on Rollins in the first place because I really rather just have them have a one-on-one match. Anyway, at Survivor Series, it didn't happen. The interference and everything, and again, like Rollins just made sense because of the history there. But then finally a returning Paul Heyman, which we thought we were gonna get. What, Money in the Bank,
Yeah.
SummerSlam? We were
Mhm.
waiting for. We were waiting. The return for Paul Heyman was done brilliantly at the end of the day.
Oh yeah.
To see the pieces connected as to why Punk was selected, then I got excited. The favor that he asked when Heyman was being tortured by Solo and the new bloodline, the history, of course, with Punk in the 2010s, just before he left the company, and the way that those two pitted against the Undertaker in that very sensitive build up because of the passing of Paul Bearer.
Mhm.
Um, it made a lot of sense because those two are close. So I'm happy with it, and again, I get to see Punk wrestle finally. Because I felt like I felt like even when I went to my first Raw in 2013, I didn't really see him. I've never seen him wrestle in person. Because
Mhm.
obviously I
Mhm.
started to go into shows in 2014, in 2013. September 2013 was my first ever live show. A couple of months
Yeah.
later, he's out. He left the company
Mhm.
right at the
Right.
Royal Rumble after the Royal Rumble. So I'm
Mhm.
excited. So this is a big monumental first for me. Um, so I can't wait to see that. But I'm giving this to the new bloodline, and I don't like saying that.
Ooh, interesting.
And
You know what?
here's
Go
why.
ahead.
I think this is
Mhm.
the perfect question to ask you to answer.
Okay.
What do you do with the new bloodline if they lose?
That's the thing. They will not. I mean, it's already a struggle to see them as powerful because, at least to me, it's also now. Granted, they've done some really good work over the past few months since SummerSlam, and they look a little bit better than a little bit better, a little bit stronger than they were,
Yes.
especially with Jacob Fatu.
Oh,
But yeah, that like being there is just chef's kiss for those guys. But it is a struggle to see the bloodline be the Timu bloodline. I'm still saying that. The new bloodline rather. To be as strong as they want it to be, because we're taking Solo as the leader. And I remember I was never a big fan of Friends back in the day, but I remember seeing that spin-off show, the Joey Tribbiani sitcom, the spin-off there. And they say you don't base your spin-off off of the buffoon character, right? And now, not saying that Solo was the buffoon character of the group, but
Ooh,
he
yeah.
was not. He's obviously not at the level of Jay.
Not even Jay. Yeah, not
Yeah,
even Jay.
exactly,
No.
exactly. So it was very tough to see Solo as the leader of this new bloodline, but I really actually saw last night's promo, at least Monday night's promo on Raw, where they had, like, the old bloodline setup, which Solo was sitting at the table
Yes.
in the middle and
Yep.
everything. And I looked at that and just like, wow, Solo actually really did step up his acting skills, and I was very happy with that. And the week before on SmackDown, the way that he was able to I guess, get the crowd to boo him to keep on booing him more as he did his acknowledge me thing, and being able to challenge Roman and say, you know what, and I like what he said too. It's like it's not you fall where you stand, you die where you stand. So I'm just like, it was interesting that they used that in the script. So with all of that, I'm looking at that and just thinking, yeah, okay, you know what, I can start seeing Solo and the bloodline a little bit more stronger now. If they and that's a long way around saying that it will break that momentum if they do not win.
Yes, exactly. And like you said, with Solo's convincing the gimmick, it's starting to sell on me a little. And I've been Solo's biggest, at least on Ringside Heat, biggest critic, because I never saw it. Even when he was just a quiet, dominant force, to me, it felt bland. Even when he started talking as the new bloodline leader, it felt bland. It did nothing sold me. And I would say now that it goes from 100% to not being sold to maybe 60% not sold. There's a 40% chance I think that I'm like, okay, I can get behind this. And this is why I think they win, because you need to build that. Because again, what do you do if the new bloodline loses, right? Bronson doesn't get hurt, and he was just added on for the heck of it. Jacob is already going to be is going to be set on his own at some point. The Tongans probably get into the tag division, but then where does Solo go? And
He
I
loses
think
out.
and I think everybody on the other side can afford the quote unquote afford the loss. That I would be okay with it. And again, like a lot of pieces go okay. Well, like, what's gonna happen here? I mean, everybody was commenting on Paul Heyman coming out dressed up like Solo, no suit, which again, to me, it's like, okay, he just wants to match the colors. Then you dig into it and you're like, uh-oh. And I do think that's what's going to help lead the win, is a Paul Heyman turn. I think it happens. And I'm going to be
wow.
That's where I don't like with this. If you noticed, and I know everybody has since the first day of the bloodline, what they'd love to do in a story is drop hints, drop subtle hints, like make you really pay attention, really pay attention. And I think that's what's going to happen. I don't think that suit was, I don't think the outfit was by choice, or sorry, by chance. And then everybody's asking, well, what about The Rock? Where does he get involved in this, with Roman or with Solo? And I don't know if he shows up, because apparently he's filming a live Moana thing. But then again, he can go on break and just fly in. So I don't know. I don't know where this goes. And then, people talking about Seth Rollins eventually going to be pissed off that Punk was involved in a match to take on Bronson Reed, which, okay, I mean, maybe it sets up those seeds. I don't know. But I think at the end of the day, unfortunately, I think you need to find a way to keep Solo relevant. Not the rest of the team. I think Solo more than the rest of the team relevant as we this is like your unofficial turning point for the basically the road to WrestleMania, in a sense, begins tonight, because your seeds start to be planted more normally they do before the Rumble officially kicks it off. But after Saturday night, our first seeds are going to be planted before the Rumble waters it.
Yeah, definitely. And one thing as well with the faces, with the original bloodline losing, that sets up some tensions between Roman Reigns and CM Punk as well, because
Yeah,
being
sure.
two Paul Heyman guys. I mean, and then the Usos and Sami Zayn. I mean, like I think more than anything, Jay and Sammy would be good, and then like
They
there
would
could be
be.
something,
Yeah.
and then Jimmy would be kind of jealous about things, and then like that could spur off into something. But at the same time, it could be that now that they're done with Punk, and then Roman is focused on Punk, at least maybe those four could at least stay together and continue the original bloodline, the OTC bloodline.
Sure. I mean,
Going on and because because obviously you can tell that people love that OTC like the OTC and the original bloodline too, so it's something that they should not let go of
no.
or just let fall by the wayside, and I don't think they will.
No, exactly. And I think also as well, I think with your scenarios is that we've already seen it. I mean, we had WrestleMania 39, Sammy versus the Usos.
Mm-hmm.
WrestleMania 40, you had Jimmy versus Jay.
Right.
Right? Like you already seen each of those in some capacity. Then I don't see a point in continuing that or creating something there that we've already seen because they want to make it look fresh. I think, and plus Jay has now reached his quote unquote main event status, or he's nearly there if he hasn't already. So I can see that continuing. Jimmy, I'd be worried about because obviously him being away hurt because Jay was able to rise, which is
Mm-hmm.
great. Or even you can even argue even before when Jay broke off originally and then got switched over to the other side. Was
Yeah.
like, remember, it was last year at Survivor Series. He was looking for everybody's forgiveness and trying to be apologetic for what he did with the bloodline. He was already building a status, and Jimmy was still stuck with Roman. So
Mm-hmm.
I'd be a little bit worried from that front, but I kind of also still see the Usos be connected in some shape or form. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. I think your main topic of conversation at the end of the day is what happens with Solo. And what do you do, and where does Roman go from here? And do we see The Rock? Do we see The Rock, Lex? Yes or no?
Ooh, I doubt it.
I agree.
Honestly,
I agree.
I
I
doubt it.
almost
I would think we would see him at the Rumble,
at the Rumble.
but at the same time, at the same time, it could be another one of those things. Something that happens after the final the final 3 count, and people are celebrating in the ring. Let's say Solo's bloodline is celebrating in the ring, and and you know what? Then he sees that the wise man has turned, and so maybe again. Rock still has his thing with Cody, so
Yep.
that's a little bit tough too. But at the
And
same
Cody's
time,
not there. Cody's not there on
exactly.
Saturday. It's
Exactly. So that might be that sets the doubt in that Rock will show up. However, if it does if it does happen that Heyman does turn and does go with Solo's bloodline, then then the Rock could come in as patriarch and just like everything is going to shambles, whatever like that. And you know why? Because y'all didn't trust me, basically. So.
could be, yeah, exactly. And I think to follow up on Cody, the thing is with Rock and Cody in hindsight,
Mm-hmm.
part of me says it doesn't need a title.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Mm-hmm.
see it. So this is where I'm gonna make an early bold claim and try to back it over in this couple of weeks that I'm okay with Cody losing next month.
Mm.
And let Kevin Owens do his own thing there. Maybe get involved with Randy on that front for the revenge. But I don't know if Cody needs the title with Rock. I'm not saying. I mean, again, Cody unfortunately was just the follow up to Roman's incredible reign. It's tough. It's been tough to book Cody. I think because of how dominant Roman was. It sucks.
Mhm. Mhm.
But I don't. The Rock Roman match was never gonna be for the title. I don't think.
I would have hoped not. I would have hoped not,
I don't
honestly.
think so. I think it was just for bragging with the bloodline. So I don't think it's really more on. And at the end of the day, it's not the title that Rock should be worried about. It's more about what Cody did to intervene everything
Yes,
and then
yes,
set
yes.
that up. So I don't. So I don't. So I guess I don't know. Cody not being there on Saturday stinks. In fact, I would have put him in the bloodline match. I would have. because he already teamed up with Roman. But I think it's great that we're finally separated from it. It took a
Yes.
while, but we're separated from it. But I don't know where it goes, and I don't see The Rock showing up either because I don't see a Rock Roman match anymore. Maybe I do, but I still don't see it in a sense. I don't know if
Is
you
that
do.
you or is that me?
It's me. It's me. It's me.
Okay.
We will continue talking wrestling. Who needs to evacuate? So I apologize for this, folks. If you're listening to this, it's live to tape.
Yeah, pretty much.
We can't just suddenly stop and just pause this. So we're gonna keep carrying on. Beep, beep.
But you know what?
Right.
Maybe but at the same time, maybe this. Ooh, that's nope. It's still there.
It's still gonna be there. I'll mute myself. Go.
Yeah, no, but at the same time, I think it's also, and we've already gone through these 5 matches. We've done some speculation. We've done some fantasy booking. I'd say initial fantasy booking for the next few months that's coming up, and this might be a good time to actually to actually end this little Survivor Series preview and to let you know that we will be going live this Saturday on YouTube and on X 5:45 p.m. In anticipation of Survivor Series War Games. It'll be me, it'll be Chico, and whoever else would like to join. And if you want to join in as well, just make sure you DM at ringside_heat on any of our social media platforms if you'd like to be in with us during the stream and commenting live. Hey, you know what? We love to have you there. And you can do it by text. You can on the comment section. You can do it by being on the stream with us. Just don't swear because we don't want any content strikes on ourselves. But 5 matches we're looking forward to, and it is going to be a fun night. Not just for us here watching it on the stream, but it's going to be fun for that dude on the right side of your screen over there because he is going to be at Survivor Series War Games in Vancouver. 3 p.m. is what this is his start time because which is insane. There's at least in my mind, it's like a pay-per-view or a PLE rather starting in the afternoon and ending by 7 p.m. So it's gonna be fun.
I have a Saturday night. I'm gonna have a Saturday night, which is hilarious. Look, I do want to say this before we go because I know we do got to wrap up. And again, I apologize for the alarm in the back, which may be very fitting because we're gonna hear alarms as the cages descended on Saturday.
Or the dung 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 dung.
Yeah, or no, the war sirens, right?
Oh right, yes,
or the war sirens. So I'll say this: when 2024 closes and let's say it's the year 2035, and I'm still a wrestling fan. Let's say 11 years later, I'm still going to be looking back at 2024 as my best ever year as a WWE fan in attendance. Yes. What a way to close out the year. I mean, I think even as a kid, I never thought I would be this big of a fan that I'd be traveling a lot, especially in one calendar year alone for WWE. Because that's what adult money is. It's fun. I'm excited. Yep. It's gonna be great. I think I'm going to do some vlog stuff, pretty sure, mainly because the person I'm going with, my buddy Matthew, it's his first ever WWE show. He's seen a little bit of wrestling growing up, but he's never been to a show. And when I told him that this was going to be a thing in November, I said, listen, obviously, I'm going to visit you. I made the promise to him that I go back once a year at this rate. And I said, I don't know when I'm going to come. When Survivor Series was announced, I said, do you want to do it? This is a weekend I can go. It's a good excuse to see you. He's like, yeah, I'm in. And he's super excited. He cannot wait. I cannot wait. I feel bad that the bar that I'm setting for live events is WarGames. So that's unfortunately going to be a bit of a crazy bar. But I'm going to try to grab his reaction. Get my thoughts, get his thoughts on it. I don't know if we'll be able to bring him on the show because again the time difference and the scheduling, and I still got to fly home. Right. And I don't know when recording after, but so I think a vlog is gonna make a lot of sense. But I'm excited. Our seats are fantastic. Ooh. And what a way to close out my year as a WWE fan in 2024 with one more pay-per-view. So I'm excited. I don't know what else to say. I spoke about all the hype over the last few weeks. I fly out. By the time you listen to this, I'm already in Vancouver. Because I fly out Thursday, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. I can't wait to get back into the WWE mindset and see where this goes. Because like I said, I think this is going to be the first seeds for WrestleMania 41, and I can't wait. So I think I don't know what else you would want to ask or what else I can say. I think I've said what I said, and I am ready for WarGames.
And we hope that you listening and watching as well are going to be ready with us for WarGames this Saturday, 5:45 p.m. on Twitter, X, and or yeah, Twitter/X rather, and YouTube. Remember that John Dawson's Outlier album is available wherever you stream your music, and as well, you can get the 180-gram vinyl at johndawsonmusic.myshopify.com. Also, check out his live performance from Wayside Comics as well too on his. I'm sorry.
Fantastic time.
Oh, of
It was
course.
great.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's on his YouTube
On
at
both
John
of
Dawson
us.
Music.
On both of ours.
Oh,
It was
yes.
streamed on Ringside's YouTube channel and his own personal YouTube. So either
There
or,
you go.
pick your poison.
There you go. And follow us at ringside_heat on all of our platforms below. Patreon.com/ringside heat as well is where you can find us. And just tune in and shovel along with us with this great weekend, another great weekend of wrestling, and a great weekend of wrestling, particularly in Canada. So hope that the riots don't happen in Vancouver after the show, Jose. So. 2011 Stanley Cup, yeah.
Yeah, I know. In the middle, in the prime spot, because I mean that was in that building that they lost it. That's right. I'm in the same building. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh boy. That's where you queue up the War Pigs / T-Pain cover version, but we can't sing it due to copyright reasons. But
That's right.
Generals will be gathered in the masses. There, I didn't sing it, so it's good. I'm clear. I'm clear.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and we'll see you this Saturday, 5:45 p.m. That's Jose at Tabwada 93. This is Lex at Lex10 Media, and this is Ringside Heat. We remember the things you forgot.
Bye.